Out here in the garage tonight, got hybrid behind me, out of the trailer, in here ready to do an inspection on the car. I like to do these inspections in between events or every other event throughout the season. You know, we're putting these cars up in the two-step, bumping them in, running down the track, street miles, everything, vibration, etc. You're always going to find something. I've done 2 events since we put the stock bottom in 6.0 in the car, so no better time than now. This is all in preparation for Streetcar Takeover Indy, which is this weekend. I can't wait. It's one of my favorite events. It's local. It's huge. They've been coming here for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years. Been going every year. Been racing at it for the last 4 or 5. So definitely plan to race this weekend. Not sure where we're gonna fall as far as in the street racer category, but we're still gonna give it a try. So again, first step is going to be get this thing up on the wood blocks so I can get underneath it and start checking everything out. But full front to back inspection and make sure everything's good to go. A couple other things I want to tidy up. So let's get started. All right, so I decided just to put the car up on the jack stands in the front. My big jack is in the trailer, and I just used the little jack and some jack stands to put the front up. So first thing I did was get the belly pan off the car. There is one riv nut on there when we were putting in the support bars to hold the pig mat that unfortunately the hardware store must have given us the wrong bolt. It's one of those grab bins, and so it was the wrong thread size for the riv nut, and it stripped out. So I want to fix that, put some fresh pig mat in there. That thing I can say without a doubt saved the car or the other guy that I was racing against, or who knows what else when the motor went. So I definitely want to get that back on the car. Additionally, at Streetcar Takeover this year, they have mandated a diaper or belly pan for any car that's $9.99 or faster. So we're definitely going to put that on. Hopefully everybody else is abiding by that this year. I know it can be a pain, especially for cars like mine where there's not an off-the-shelf option, but the belly pan really wasn't that difficult to make. I'm myself guilty of not having one for really the times I was going. So we've got one. We're going to fix the little issue and get it back on the car. Then I'm going to go ahead and look at everything up front, and then I'll go ahead and jack up the back of the car, and we'll get the suspension checked out and everything back there. So go ahead and get started on that. So at this point, I've got the belly pan all fixed up. Like I said, one of the threads was stripped on the riv nuts when we were putting these braces in. So just a quick rundown on what I did with this. So my car is a front sump oil pan. There's not really a diaper without getting something custom made. So I took quick measurements underneath the car, went out and got a 24 by 36 inch flat sheet. I don't remember the thickness. It's not super thick. Measured it, bent 2 inches on each side. So that's the height we've got per the rules. 2 inches around. I had to make a little bit of space here for the steering rack. And then it's just riveted in the corners where it comes together. And then I've got some RTV in each of the corners, of course, because I don't want it leaking out of there. And then in the center, I had some extra 1x1 aluminum that we used on the trailer. So we did some riv nuts, put those pieces in there, and that holds down the pig mat there in the center, also per the rules on a belly pan. So, and then I just made some very basic brackets out of 1-inch strap that I had that are bolted to the car. They stay on the car. You can't really see them there, but anyways. And so then that's where the 4 extra riv nuts along the perimeter here. This just gets bolted up underneath the car. 4 bolts, quick, easy, simple. Again, I really think this was a big attribute as to why this car is back home in one piece as far as the body goes. So I strongly recommend to all of my friends, whether it's, anything going down with the drag strip, diaper, pan, something. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm very thankful I did. I'd like to think I won't ever need it again, but hey, that's how racing goes. So this is fixed. Let's get it back under the car, and then I can continue checking everything under the hood here We'll check the wheel suspension in the front and then work our way to the back. So get that done. So at this point, I've pretty much got everything checked out on the top side of the engine bay here. So got the catch can drained. I will say that's all I get out of the catch can these days. Even after 2 or 3 passes, I can almost go in a whole event now without having to drain that catch can. It's not a huge catch can. The key, I think, was I've got the BTR baffled valve covers and I've got the lines in the front. I used to have them in the back on my stock stuff and even these, and I would still fill that catch can every pass. These things get a lot of oil up in the top of the heads, especially towards the back. So if there's a tip I can give anybody, start making power, put them in the front. Really helps. Typically, I'll check the exhaust manifold bolts. They're notorious for coming loose. Got the V-bands tightened up. Just over everything. Checking the connectors. I checked my fuel lines, the AN fittings. Intake manifold bolts. All the couplers all the way around. It's all done. Fluids. Only thing I still need to check is the transmission fluid, but I'll do that afterwards towards the end. We get back on the ground level, get it up to temp, check it while it's running. So now I'll go ahead and get underneath the car, check everything on the bottom side, on the front, and then like I said before, we'll go ahead and get the rear up in the air and check that. Here's a good shot of the belly pan back on the car. You can see a couple of the mounting pieces that are on there, but got everything checked before I put the pan on. Pan's up. Went ahead and checked the front suspension. Shook everything down, tie rod ends, tension rod you see there. Make sure those are all nice and tight, good to go. So from this point, we'll go ahead and get the front end back down on the ground, raise the rear, and check all that out. Got the back of the car jacked up on jack stands, you can see down there. So we'll go ahead and crawl underneath and check out, all the bars on the rear end. You see down under there, the 4-link, import drag solutions. You go ahead and check the other, the fuel lines that are down here, shocks, settings, make sure we're all equal, how I have them set up and everything. Go from there. So go ahead and crawl underneath here and get that checked out. So at this point, we're all set, ready for streetcar takeover as far as maintenance goes. Checked everything front to back. Had a couple things we adjusted, but feeling confident that the car is ready. Just need to pack the chute, put some out front race fuels, E90 in the tank, give it a fresh wash, which is always super easy to do with our automotive cleaning solutions on board. Sean makes that job cakewalk. And then from there, load it in the trailer, and we'll be ready to head out early Friday morning to get there for technically day 2, but day 1 at the track for Streetcar Takeover. So we'll see you there. Be sure to stop by the pits and say hey, check out the merch. We'll definitely be there having a good time, ready to race, see if we can go rounds. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you there.